So let's look at doing line graphs or line charts in matplotlib. As you can see, it's very easy. If we look at plot1.py, we import the library, we make a list that has the data in it, then we plot that data, and then we show the graph. So basically 4 lines of code, you can make a nice looking chart. And there you go. There's the data. It's all charted out. So making line charts or line graphs in matplotlib is easy. If we want to get more complex, we can look at plot 3. And now I've added some labels. So I have the title, the X label, the Y label, and the tick mark labels at the bottom. And as you can see, when I plot it, all I do is days and data, and then the 2 lists, and now I have a nice graph that looks like that. We have the tick marks labeled at the bottom, we have the x-axis label, the y-axis label, and a title for the graph. If we look at plot 4, you can see it's starting to get a little bit more complex, but really make the data, make our labels for our tick marks, do the title, x-axis, y-axis, and then plot it, and then show it. And then we change the tick marks to something else and we show it. Now watch what happens when we do this. We have our nice first graph, and then we go to the next graph, we get nothing. And what happens is when you do a show, it clears the data out. So you can't do a show and then make a change and do a show. You have to redo the whole graph again. And that's what I did here. But now I included the tick marks change, and it looks like that. And so that's number 4. If we look at number 5, we do the same thing, but now I've changed the line to red, and as you can see, that's right here. So I've changed the line to red. If we look at number 6, you can see I now have 3 lists of data, and I am doing days and then the data 1, data 2, data 3. So I add those each line to the graph, then I show the graph. I'm adding a legend to the graph there as well, and it will use the label over here to tell you. And I've also changed the colors to black, green, and blue, and you can say, see, black, green, and blue, and the label from over here shows up in the legend that we have here. So you can turn on the legend or turn it off if you don't want to use it. If we look at number 7, I'm going to show you one of the risks. You have to actually know your data when you're plotting it, because if you don't know your data, you end up with something that looks like that. And that it looks like that because you have 2 pretty much straight lines going across, because the values are so far apart that the library tries to squish them together to fit them on the page, and you get straight lines. And so one of the things you have to worry about when you try and graph more than one line is that they are relatively in the same y-axis, same x-axis as well, but y-axis, so you don't get straight lines going across. And that's pretty much a quick review of the line graphs or line charts in matplotlib.